South Korean elections were just held, and progressive candidate Lee Jae-myung ended up winning. He is an admirer of FDR and Bernie Sanders, and 6 months ago, he filmed himself personally escaping the military and hopping over the fence at Parliament to end martial law in the country. Is he without faults? No, but what he is a leader who put his body on the line to confront authoritarianism and isn't afraid to showcase his left-wing economic populist views even in a country that is deeply economically unequal. Wouldn't that be fucking nice to have? Meanwhile, in the United States, our opposition to authoritarianism, our dearly beloved Democrats, are spending their time mocking the Republicans for not crashing the economy even harder than they already have, and triple dog daring Donald Trump to go to war with Iran over Israel. Okay. The arc of history paints a very clear picture. If you want to counter authoritarianism, you need to do something, do anything, give people something to hope for, some alternate version of the future that they can place their interests in. If we want to deal with authoritarianism in America, we first need to deal with the fact that we have offered people no alternatives. And anyone who is standing in the way of change and is still advocating for more status quo centrism is an active collaborator in fascism in America.
남이처럼 날아가서 별처럼 쏩니다. 이어서 울산입니다. 대표 공수관리 가운데 이재동 46.3% 1위. 한번에 끝으로 전국입니다. 순자는요. 이재명 후보 46.4%로 현재 1위로 앞서가고 있습니다. 같이 가자니까 다 잡지 말라니까 경기.
잡지 말라니까.
잘 만드냐. 오, 인천도 많이 줄어들었네요.
요리 보고 조리 봐도 알 수 없는 이 책.
재판관 전원의 일치된 의견으로 주문을 선고합니다. 주문, 피청구인 대통령 윤석열을 파면한다.
이제 기쁘고 감격스럽고 이제 주말도 반납하고 시위에 나온 시민들의 그리고 민주주의의 승리라고 생각을 했습니다.
나는 도저히 불복합니다. 이거는 나라가 아니에요. 나는 나라가 망했다고 생각해요.
South Korea has elected a new president. But will its newest leader end the country's political turmoil? Lee Jae-myung of the country's Liberal Democratic Party won, beating Kim Mung-soo of the Conservative People Power Party. Lee once described himself as a South Korean version of Bernie Sanders. He's seen as a voice for the working class, but he's also dogged by legal cases and scandals. Importantly, Lee led the charge to impeach his predecessor. That was former President Yoon Suk-yeol, who declared martial law last December, a short-lived move that eventually led to his removal from office. That's why there's this snap election. Lee now ascends to the presidency after part of his childhood was spent in a factory making baseball gloves. Lee became a lawyer, then governor of South Korea's most populous province, and lost by 0.7% to Yoon in the latest presidential election back in 2022. Lee is a polarizing figure because he's faced numerous criminal charges and scandals throughout his career. Those charges include a violation of election law and bribery allegations, and Lee denies and has fought all charges, claiming they are politically motivated. Now that he's president, Lee has pledged more government investment to jumpstart South Korea's faltering economy, and he wants a less confrontational stance towards North Korea. His challenges? Negotiating a trade deal with the U.S., and reassuring allies that what we saw during martial law will never happen again.
Presidential candidate Lee Jae-myung of the Democratic Party just beat out Kim Moon-so of the People's Power Party and Lee Jun-suk of the New Reform Party to win the South Korean presidency. Lee said in his address that he would never again allow democratic institutions to be threatened, adding that he would also become a president who ends the politics of division. What I want to point out here is that the People Power Party still got 40% of the votes. This is a party that was headed by former President Yoon Suk-yeol, who essentially attempted an insurrection on December 3rd of 2024 when he declared martial law. In the days following the insurrection, many members of the PPP refused to impeach the president, and it was only after a second impeachment motion did some members defect. Mind you, this was only 12 out of 108 total members. Thankfully, the presidency is in new hands now, but it's still concerning to see the electorate vote for a party that essentially tried to upend democracy.
경쟁 수단으로 전락한 안보와 평화, 무관심과 무책임으로 무너진 민생과 경제, 그리고 장갑차와 자동소총에 파괴된 우리의 민주주의를 다시 일으켜 세울 시간입니다. 아무리 비싼 평화도 전쟁보다는 낫습니다. 싸워서 이기는 것보다 싸우지 않고 이기는 것이 더 낫고 싸울 필요 없는 평화가 가장 확실한 안보입니다.
하지만 골목 상권, 영세 자영업자들의 매출을 늘려주면서 특히 전통시장 같은 곳이 다시 부활하는 그런 실적을 낸 일이 있습니다.
Gyeonggi Pay is a cash payout based on a concept called Universal Basic Income, where citizens, regardless of employment or income, are indefinitely given a sum of money to help reduce inequality and poverty. Governor Lee is using the success of Gyeonggi Pay as a pitch for the 2022 presidential election, and he's now leading in the polls. He's proposing to give about $430 every month to all South Koreans to make sure the country isn't caught off guard by job losses to automation. This plan is personal because his province is a manufacturing base for major South Korean companies like Samsung and Hyundai.
코로나19가 우리 사회가 앞으로 맞닥뜨려야 될 4차 산업혁명 시대, 소위 노동의 종말 시대, 극단적 양극화의 시대를 아주 급작스럽게 앞당긴 측면이 있기 때문에 새로운 기회 요인이었다는 생각도 하고 있습니다.